Calling all Bachelor Nation.
Report to episode 7 recap.
And bring your conch.
That was the best intro we've ever done.
I know you didn't know that I was fluent in Concorn. But I am. Hey, Tiff.
Who didn't let the dogs out?
Who
Didn't let the dogs out? Who? Ooh, well, look at my conch dance. Just tell Mr. Action.
Roll it to the side.
And roll it. And roll it. Oh,
And roll
Mr.
it.
Action. Boom, action. And then we gotta dance like Blake.
And you can't see my legs, but they were... This is good.
Tiffany knows. Only those who arrive on time get to see the dance.
And the special conch call.
I don't know if even Tiffany saw that, so she might have to go back and start from the beginning.
Replay.
Guys, it was episode 7, and we went to
The Bahamas.
and this ain't your mama Bahamas. This episode needs to be recapped by some professional travelers, and we are here.
What does any professional traveler need on their trips? A hat. So we are in the Bahamas today. Let's make sure you need a hat when you're in the Bahamas.
Stacy's gonna love my hat. Stacy's a living for my. Stacy gets it.
Stacy understands us.
She understands my animal print.
I feel like this week, Becca's mind was as clear as the Bahama Ocean. It was clear. It knew.
And we know this because her and Chris, I feel like they've been having some really deep heart-to-hearts at the beginning of the episodes to kind of set the stage. So we heard from Becca that she is placing all bets
On love.
on love.
It's going to be real. And she knows it. And we know it too. I feel it. Love is in the air.
Love is so bright. We need our hats on.
We need our hats on.
We need sunglasses.
We don't have them, but we need
sunnies
them.
and floppy hats
And floppy hats.
to best prepare for the brightness of love. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna take mine off so you can see my face because it's pale and it is bright as the sun for you. So we started off with Chris and Becca has a lot of feelings. I feel like more feelings than any bachelorette has had at this point. Yeah.
She has a lot of feelings, but I feel like she's directing them in the right place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like she's all over the place. Like, every week she kind of knows what she wants.
Okay. She's ready.
I'm not mad at it. So all the guys showed up at, what was the hotel name? I forgot. I don't remember. The Bahamas Hotel. That was very nice.
It was really, I wanted to go. I was like,
She wanted to live there.
I want to live there.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm going to watch HGTV, House Hunters International, Island Hoppers, ASAP, and figure out how to make this happen. So all the guys walk in, and can we just talk for a second about someone who...
Oh, yes.
I feel like my hat spoke to it.
Yeah.
Do y'all notice?
No shade here. No shade here.
The animal print.
Ooh. We're talking about Will's.
We are talking about Will.
He looked awesome. I always love that he's so fun in his outfits.
His style.
Next level. It's futuristic.
Oh, it is futuristic. Will's should be styling all the men.
All of us.
All of us.
I want a leopard jumpsuit.
Was it a jumpsuit?
I don't know. I can never tell if it's a one or
they
if it's...
didn't match perfectly, but
So
yet
it
they
might have
matched perfectly. Like they went to. Okay, you're not supposed to match. You're just supposed to go, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the words are? You're the
like
fashion
it.
expert. So he went.
He went for it and it worked.
And
So
then
I
he was
happy.
so sweet because he was like, "We all love each other, but I need some guys to go home."
No, and like we predicted last week, guys are getting jealous. They're starting to compare relationships.
Yep.
Like they're still friends, but are they buddy?
Yeah, I think all the guys were starting to really feel it. Like
Pressure's there.
it's starting, and everybody's having big feelings, and so we're starting to get into that awkward phase where like you started out being friends with these guys, traveling together, and now you're like, you're dating my girlfriend,
It's all fun and games till someone falls in love with another dude's girl.
right? They're dropping the G word for girlfriend and
Girlfriend and future wife.
yeah. So things are getting real in the house.
Yes, and speaking of real, there was a bombshell dropped like as soon as they walk in. There's
Yes.
no rose ceremony this week, y'all.
which there's hardly ever been. Becca doesn't like the rose ceremony style.
I feel like these days she's just making her own rules.
She just does her own thing. And so what are they doing instead of a rose ceremony?
They're doing this crazy date bombshell. So there's 4 dates.
Okay.
And it's 3 one-on-ones and then a 3-on-1. Did that make sense what I said? I feel like that.
A 3-on-1.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's only 1 rose on the 3-on-1?
On the 3-on-1 there was only 1 rose.
Okay.
So 2 guys.
So this is like intense dating, speed dating. Speed dating in the Bahamas.
The speediest dating.
On your catamaran. Okay, so who got the first date card?
The date card went to Colton.
And he's the bronze god.
With the blonde hair.
I mean, physical attraction is there.
Oh my gosh, the first half of the date, it was all like making out.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it, it was entertainment, but I'm like, whoa,
The physical level is just big, right? So they are definitely feeling each other, but we find out a little secret about Colton. So Colton is a little virgin. Can y'all even hear me?
Yeah.
Why do we feel awkward talking about it?
I don't know. It's not awkward. I don't know. It's because I feel it too.
I know, like I want
But
someone to say it. I don't know if
He
you're
claimed his virginity out loud.
Yes,
He claimed it. He was loud and proud.
He was loud and proud. He actually said several times, I don't want to be ashamed of it. So.
And he shouldn't be.
No.
I think, that's a decision he made, and that's cool. I think definitely it needed to be talked about at this point. As far as
100%.
expectation-wise, it doesn't need to be a secret.
Yes. No. And I get it. Like it is something you have to tell the person you're dating because that's huge, especially with the level of physical attraction they were having.
Dude.
The heat was on like Donkey Kong. Get my floppy hat to fan me down, sister. So they jump on their catamaran. Is that what it's called? A catamaran?
Yeah. Yes. I would say it was a boat.
And he is about to start telling her.
Yes.
And the timing was so perfect.
Because ironically, Action shows up.
Did y'all catch that his name was Action?
It was the best. I feel like they just said, please let your name be Action, like just for today.
Because we need so many innuendos in this segment. Like we need people's minds to be blowing with innuendos. And so we're going to name you Action.
Yes, yes. So then they went conch diving with Action.
This is going to be a tongue twister. I feel like this is live, but we're going to do our best friends.
So they had to go and get the conch from the ocean.
I don't know if I can handle this.
It was just a lot of jokes. I remember once him and I went conch diving.
Do I need to earmuffs?
No, we did. And I for those of you who weren't on in the first 5 minutes and watched me play the conch horn, this is the conch we got. I brought it for show and tell today.
Yes.
And it's real and it's a very fun thing to do, so I'm glad they got to do it.
I feel like they obviously the what are they called? Producers. I almost
The directors.
I don't know what I was gonna call them. They definitely knew about his V card because they set up that whole episode to be like just innuendo after awkward heated moment after awkward heated moment as possible. Yeah. Like the tension was real.
Yeah, thick.
It was so intense. I was literally like this. Like I felt like Michael in the office with like 1,000,001 that's what she said jokes after everything they said.
Yes, it
was rough.
You back. So it was, what I thought was funny is that she goes, well, unless he has some crazy bomb to drop on me, like I'm just gonna give him the rose. And that it was a crazy bomb. Like she didn't know what he was gonna say. Like, she had no idea. So that was so authentic.
I don't think she could have ever guessed this.
No, because she looked and she was like, really? Like
she did. She
was
said,
such
really?
surprise, like washed over her face. I love that she needed a minute.
She did need a minute because she was feeling the physical tension the whole episode, and so she needed to like go cool down. She went and got her floppy hat and was like, slow down.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to watch a little bit, but also I think it made them closer. She was able to get over it.
Yes.
The fact that for them,
yes,
his decision was not necessarily marriage, I think made her not be so stressed about it.
Yes, she was living for that sentence. Like when he said it's not about waiting for marriage, she just like relief went over her, because really she just wants him because he's a piece of meat.
I
And
mean,
so she
it's
needed
not-
to know that.
Yeah,
'cause-
he's not handsome. I get it.
Yeah. John was like not feeling how much time they gave this, though. He was like, is it really this big of a deal? And I was like, because it's The Bachelor, we do need to spend 30 minutes on this.
I agree. And but they flash back to the guys.
Oh, yes.
Who all have an opinion on this
Yes, the
subject.
guys
also.
were very opinionated. Garrett literally said his mind was blown.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leo was so PC. Did you hear what Leo said? He's like, Colton is just youthful. Leo.
He hasn't lived enough life.
Leo's so PC. He's like, you're just youthful. I was like, aw. Or
Not.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I don't know. I just felt like saying that you can't be with somebody if you haven't been with them. Like, that's kind of like I don't know, like, you can figure that kind of stuff out later if you
Yeah.
need to. I don't feel like that defines whether you can get married to someone or not.
Yeah. They were saying it was necessary.
Well, especially because in marriage, like, things change all the time, bro.
Truth.
Marriage, you're like constantly changing, both emotionally and physically, and your needs and stuff. And it's like you can't base it on that. So that's my 2 cents. That's it.
She's always got the wise words for us.
Wisdom.
If y'all aren't watching just so you can take home truth with Chelsea, what are you watching for?
Serve and conk.
I don't know if you should.
Serve conk,
I
guys.
don't know if that
It's
should-
knowledge conk.
I don't know.
It's
I
fine.
don't know.
So that was
Okay,
pretty
we'll
much their
wrap up.
date, right?
He got the rose.
He got the rose, which
Yeah,
I
I'm
get.
glad.
Yes,
This shouldn't have been a reason to not get the rose.
if she didn't give him the rose for that, she'd be the girl who didn't give him the rose for that.
And it's just
She
not a
would
good
forever
reason to
be
not give
known
the rose. I
as
don't
the girl
think.
who
If
didn't
you're
give him a
feeling
rose.
someone, that should not be the reason to not give them.
I agree.
It's
I agree.
definitely something to work that you can work out.
Agreed.
Okay, so next we found out that Garrett got the next one-on-one.
Yes, Garrett got the one-on-one,
And it flashed over to the house, and we got to see Blake kind of start unraveling.
Dude, he was like a mess. I kind of half expected him to go a little bit nuts. Like, the way he was kind of like, she has to know, like, I'm so upset. Like,
Yeah. Really? How does she know?
she has 7 other boyfriends, bro. She's not just worried about you. Like,
This is where, like, I always get frustrated with people in this process because you knew going in. Like, I get that it's hard, but, like,
Sure.
why are you so special that it's harder for you than it is the other guys? Like, even when Colton said, oh, I don't know about you guys, but for me, bringing someone home to my family is super important. I'm like, it's important to all of them. Like, what makes you special that this is harder on you?
yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
So I was kind of like, Blake, this isn't harder on you than it is on anyone else. Get it together.
Yeah, no, the thing is, he's showing it to everyone.
He's showing it.
He's so insecure.
He was
so insecure.
Yes.
So insecure.
So Garrett gets to go on his one-on-one.
In the ocean plane.
Oh, on a little plane.
They had fun.
And they are smitten little kittens. You guys, they're smiling till their cheeks get dimples forever, and
I
they're
feel
just.
like they're like, they have some physical attraction, but there's so much there. They're making a stew, and there's a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah, they are definitely big smiles, dimpled cheeks, smitten kittens.
I feel like she's looking for something. And I feel like, is it just me that I felt like she was reaching?
I don't know. I just felt like she feels it. Like she's smitten.
When she was like, well, I've never seen you, what was she?
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
down and
discouraged.
discouraged. The
I feel like
DD.
the down and
the down and discouraged. That phrase was used over and over again.
And I felt like, are you looking for a problem in him? Do you feel like he's too good to be true?
Oh,
And
like
so
looking
you're
for a
like-
problem.
Yes, that's what I mean.
But I think she was actually kind of like, I want to see is this all real? Like, or if you're.
Yeah.
And his response was that he's only been down and discouraged twice in his life. And I was like, you had a divorce, man. Are you telling me, like, you weren't down about that? Because
Well, and
that's not very,
apparently he lived in like the worst situation during his marriage. So
and maybe you need to be down and discouraged a little more. Like, I don't know. When he said he could count them, he goes, I can count all the times I've been down and discouraged on my hand.
on less than one hand.
On less than one hand. Make that 2 fingers. And I was like, twice in your life?
Yeah.
Like, that I just feel like maybe you're not like fully in touch with all of the feelings. I mean, because I'm a pretty upbeat person, but
Twice.
I can definitely count. I don't even have enough fingers and toes to count all.
Because you've lived life.
Yes, right? And like he has too. Like
Yeah.
it's not like he hasn't. He's got a divorce. So I was just like, that seems like maybe you're not in touch with. And maybe
Yeah.
she was kind of trying to pick up on that. But then they went on their dinner date and she tried to break down the marriage a little bit more. She was like, so
Well,
what?
she didn't need to break it down. He was breaking it down. Somewhere in a there's a baby crying.
Yes, there's a baby.
Somewhere in America, there is a very upset woman.
A hot-headed.
She's hot-headed and ready to blow.
And I am feeling for her tonight because that was rough. He is just like he's throwing shade and shade. He is throwing major shade. Yes, everything is her. Just like hot-headed from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I could change her.
And like yelling all the time. Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't believe him. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if it was all one way.
Well, and
I don't
like
know.
he tried, like there was like I think she was trying to get him to have some ownership. Like, what made you decide then, like, to marry a woman who was hot-headed and yelling at you and like, and he was like, I was young.
Yeah, like thought I could break her like a colt. Not because
And
it's
like,
a Colton.
what I'm worried about, and this is the feminist in me, is the day that Becca shows her range of emotions, which she has the right to, because women sometimes we
feel
get
them.
sometimes we get hot-headed. Is he gonna be like?
We all do.
Because he's always like, oh, she's so even-tempered and so wonderful, and I'm just worried about sweet Becca. The first day she's like, excuse me.
Is he gonna be like, oh, she's crazy?
Oh, she's crazy. This is that hot-headed. These are these hot-headed feelings that women have that I can't handle. I'm a little bit nervous.
I don't like it.
Get your floppy hat out, Becca. Shade might be coming your way. So, anyway.
But it's true. That is. I mean, no, that's interesting. So
I just was like kind of
see
worried
how
about
that
it.
progresses.
Okay, and then he was like, said that they would be perfect together. He said, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but we're perfect together. And then they said that they're Twitter-pated?
Twitter-pated.
Is that from Bambi?
I have no idea what that was. I was like, is that a word?
Y'all know all
Y'all are
things.
all so good
y'all
about
always
helping us
know
always.
things. Y'all knew people.
But he said he wasn't Twitter-pated any longer. Because she's like, are you still? And he goes, am I? Like, no. I'm so happy with you. That's what his response was.
Okay, so someone break down Twitter-pated a little bit more for
Please.
us and let us know. And then that was the end of
That was pretty much the end of that.
Garrett, and he got a rose.
Yes, and he did say he was falling for her.
Yes,
that was
he
the first time he said I was falling.
Yes.
Just an important
And
note.
she was living for it. She is living for these guys to tell her. Like, she wants to know that. At this point, that's the line she's looking for. That is the level that she expects these men to be, is they should be declaring that statement. Everyone needs that line. I'm falling for you, Becca.
Well, it gives her the opportunity to say, okay, is he too far into this? Like, I need to pull back? Or is he far enough in this with me where we can go together?
Okay, yeah, that's
Real,
good.
real.
Yeah, real. Okay, so then flashback to the house. And we find out that Blake gets his one-on-one so he can slow his roll.
And he looks like he received air.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, gosh, thank you. He was so upset, which I get. Like, I can't imagine the pressure, but he was happy.
It was like defibrillator.
Like, is this real life? Like, yeah,
Yes.
He couldn't even hide it.
Yeah, so Coach Blake, as I like to lovingly refer to him from his red blazer days, salmon blazer days, whatever. But Coach Blake got the one-on-one, and they got to see...
The Baha Men.
Which I thought she was saying, like, what did I thought you...
The Bahama Men.
The Bahama Men, and I was like, that's a wordful. And, yeah,
That was sketchy.
the Baha Men.
Yeah.
Classic.
And they were singing bum, bum, bum.
And he busted out some Gumby moves.
His best Gumby moves.
His
was
arms
feeling it.
were like detached
Yeah.
from his body, and his legs.
He was just,
were...
I'm going to chalk this up to he was just so excited because when he saw her, he looked thirsty. She was a big cup of hydration and he was thirsty for her. He ran to her, he inhaled her. He was like, Becca, Becca. He was happy. He was, I don't want to say too happy, but he was very happy.
He was happy.
He was very happy. So that's what I'm going to chalk up those dance moves to.
Those dance moves were crazy, but he thought he didn't even care.
No, and I'm glad he didn't.
He
was
didn't
like,
care.
he was
He
like,
was in
we're
it.
alone and we are happy.
And I almost like that.
What
It
camera
was
crew?
cute. What producer
What?
told me to get out here and dance? I don't know.
Let's get on the
I
stage.
don't know.
Why not?
Let's do it. He did, and then they had some more animal time. Because Blake and his animals. We gotta get Blake in touch with his animals.
Yes, and they had a good time.
They did, and I feel like he going into the Bahamas was her number one. Like I felt like she was kind of throwing some hints at that. Like he was like the front runner, and she just felt like some of his questions made her a little like nervous. But then in the end, it kind of
I like that he opened up about his story, which was really like sad to hear, but he turned it into like a lesson for his future.
Yes.
He's like, I don't want my family to be this way. Like, I don't, and that made her like flutter and, but then he said it. Yeah. He was in love with her.
Yeah. And we had heard that at the beginning of the episode. He said, I might drop the L word. And I was like, I wonder if he will. I wonder if he will. He did. He did. Dropped it.
And she even said in her interview that she wishes she could say it back to him.
I really think he's a number one in her mind.
I agree.
think she's picturing him in a lot of, like, when she's picturing the end. I think right now, I don't know, things can kind of, when you meet family and stuff, I think right now, he's one of the people that she, like, definitely is picturing. So, I don't know if he's my favorite, but I think that he's pretty cute, and I think he's her favorite. I think that.
I do, too. I feel like there's chemistry there, and they're feeling each other. Yeah. So, you guys can tell us what you think.
Okay, and then we had the
3. That's an O on 1.
3 on 1.
Ooh, you made it like really flip.
Yeah.
So it was Jason, Leo, and Wills.
Yes.
So the trifecta.
Yes. What was he wearing? I need to remember what Wills was wearing.
He was actually pretty low key. He was wearing a really cool dark floral shirt. I think some jean shorts. Okay. So he looked good.
He always looks good.
So they played volleyball. It was a very low key date, I felt
but I was like, how did they pick the teams? Because she was on the team with Jason, and then they were on the other side, and I was like, that was like a little foreshadowing for me. Like, the second I saw that, I was like,
oh, you're so good.
I was like, this is kind of like, it's Jason against the other two. And that's how I was feeling going in, that Jason was probably a front runner. And then, boom, my mind switched, though. The second she had alone time with Jason, she looked like she was like itching for more. Like she wants to hear from each guy that phrase, I'm falling in love with you. And he didn't give it to her.
No, in fact, he even said like, I'm not there yet. And some guys are. He acknowledged it.
Yeah.
And
which I actually am proud of, because I think some of the guys are saying it because they're letting the whole process kind of like
jumble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Letting it get to him.
Yeah. And he was like, no, I want it to be real. And I feel like every single guy was saying the line, like, I am really hard to open up. But then they would be like, word vomit, open up. But Jason was like, it's really hard for me to open up. Yeah. And this is
let me prove it to you. But he's still loving, though.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm trying. I'm trying.
He does really good.
And I have a lot of feelings for you, but like, I want to be serious about my feelings.
Well, I also like that he kept saying,
I thought it was mature.
It was very mature. He's experienced life. He's lived life. But I also thought he was saying all the right things, because he was acknowledging how hard this is for her. Yeah. He was saying, hey, I get it. Like, so I appreciate it. It was good.
Yeah. But I was worried. Going in was like, Jason 100% is safe in this 3-on-1. But then after that time, I was like, I think and then Wills was like saying boom, boom, line after line of what I think she would have thought, what she wanted to hear.
Yes. And I felt like Wills had a shot in that moment, because he's like, the thought of bringing her home to meet my family. Yeah. Like, he was getting teary-eyed. Like, I wanted it for him.
His people. He loves his people. And he was like, you need to know my people. And like,
he wanted, I said Carly. He wanted Becca to be his people.
Yes, I know. So I really thought, my mind switched after that. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be Wills. And I was really sad, because, I'm on Team Jason.
Sure.
And it's hair and all. I'm just like Team Jason. And then I was like, oh no, he's going to go. And he didn't.
No.
Somehow it was Leo and Wills who went home.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch base on Leo, because we all knew that was coming.
They had like one real date. No one.
Yeah.
It was cool, but we like Leo.
Yeah.
We want the best for him.
Leo, I hope Universal Studios and Waterworld is treating you well. I hope to plan to come see you someday and take a picture with you, you little stunt man.
We'll find you.
And I hope you have your hair in your nice little man bun when I come.
I will say though, when she let Wills go and he was driving and he was so sad.
Yeah.
And he had to stop the car because he was so upset. Girl, my heart was sad. I was heavy.
And he said, the hardest line she said was,
say it, girl.
I know you're going to find your right person. And what she intended to be such a sweet thing to him was a dagger, because that meant she wasn't his right person, and he thought she was.
That makes me sad.
I was like, that part and him telling them he needed to get out of the car because he didn't want to be filmed. I was like, back off, crew.
You could see
back
his-
off.
you could
I
see
wanted
his
them to.
pain.
I wanted the crew to back off. I was like, I shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah.
I need to respect
back.
Wills. So it brought me back to 2 Minute Wills, and you know what? I
Dude, 2 Minute Wills was my favorite.
2 Minute Wills was my favorite. So, but the date ended in only Jason. So we are ending episode 7 with Jason,
Yes.
Blake,
Colton.
Colton, and Garrett.
And that, you know what that means, guys. Hometowns next week.
Hometowns.
This is a big deal to go home.
Bringing him home. As Colton said, it's really a big deal for him. So it's probably bigger for him.
Well, it's not a big deal for everyone else, so.
But I think they all seem like family guys.
Yes, which
like even
is
when
exciting.
there's ones with like Blake has like more of a story, but yet it's still like his family. He
Yes.
still was excited to do the family thing.
I'm very interested in that little snippet that we saw with Tia.
The girls are
wanting
back.
to pull her aside. I am intrigued, and I am ready to break that down for you next week.
I know. We can't wait to follow up and see what Tia, because she was like, I have something to tell you. That I feel
And then
bad.
it like fades away, so our minds can just wander for a week.
Yes,
So-
and for those of you who are sad about Will's, he is going to be in paradise.
Yes, he is on Paradise, so stay tuned
his
for that.
fashion will continue, and we will get to travel with
Hopefully
him
he'll fall in love with his right person.
in his swimsuit in not in the Bahamas. Where did they go? I don't know.
Mexico?
But somewhere.
Anyways,
Anyway,
it's gonna be great.
okay.
So that's it. Are we signing off from the Bahamas? We'll put our hats on because the Bahamas say goodbye.
And do a little cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to
Cheers to Conch and episode 7.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Almost. Oh, are we on?
No, I feel